G'day, Jason the Middle Aged Gear Junkie here. A couple of months ago I did a video called How to Create an 80s Clean Sound, and a couple of people commented that they wanted to see me do an 80s hair metal sound. So here goes. But before I start, please, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if it floats your boat. It really does help this video get viewed. I don't think it can be argued that the main driving force behind most 80s rock, hair metal, and thrash metal bands of the 80s was the Marshall JCM 800 amplifier. Now, this is at the time, a high gain amplifier that came out in the early 80s, and most bands tended to use this amplifier or something equivalent to this amplifier. Now, because I don't have a Marshall JCM 800, I'm going to be using the Marshall Drive Master pedal, which came out in the early 90s. Now, this is just a Marshall Governor, just rehoused and renamed. Now, the idea behind these pedals is that you can put one in front of just about any amplifier, including, say, a Fender amplifier like I'm using, and make it sound like a Marshall stack. So this is going to be the core of my tone today. This is my clean signal. All knobs at noon. Just going to back the volume off a little bit. And already that sounds a lot like AC/DC. Okay, but we're not really after an AC/DC sound. We want a bit of a heavier sound, so I'm going to turn the gain up to about 3 o'clock. I'm going to leave the bass where it is, and I'm going to dial in a bit more mids. So that's become much more heavy, and I reckon I can probably do some Motley Crue with that tone. If you want some of that 80s thrash metal sound, what you could do is turn the gain even further up, back the mids off a bit, and turn up the treble. And you could do some really cool 80s thrash with that sound. From the mid to late 80s, we started to see the rise of really processed guitar tones. And this was partly because of the use of rack units, which were really popular at that time. Basically, most digital gear at that time came in rack form, not in pedal form. And so all the digital delays and digital reverbs had to be rack mounts. For delay, I'm going to be using the Boss DD3, which was actually available in the 80s and was one of the first digital delays ever made. For reverb, I'm going to be using the Behringer digital reverb. Now, this is a clone of a Boss RV5, but it saves me using a big rack unit like they used in the 80s, and I'm going to be using predominantly gate mode. Also, for a bit of tone shaping and a bit of extra volume boost, I'm going to be using an old Boss SD1, which a lot of guitarists at that time really favoured. So what I'm going to do now is create a really processed 80s sound. So I've set up the Drive Master sound like that. I've taken a bit of the treble off, back the mids off, because when I kick in the super overdrive, that's going to fill those mids in again and give me a bit of a volume kick. All right, over here we have a really subtle digital delay. And I've gone with a gated reverb because this effect is really very much dated in the 80s. Basically, if you don't know what a gated reverb is, it's when it cuts off the tail of the reverb. So it sounds like it's in a really big room and then it just cuts off the tail. Okay, so put them all together. This sort of tone is going to be really good for your 80s melodic virtuoso playing as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to thank Skid Mark for helping me with the intro song.
It's S-Kid Mark.
Sorry, S-Kid Mark for helping me with the intro song. Remember to please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and you can join us on the Middle Aged Gear Junkie Facebook page as well. I've left the link in the description. My name's Jason. Hope you have a great day. See ya.